This is going to be a two-part video today. I'm not sure if I can get the book on with the same slide, so we're going to go through the fiction and nonfiction, understanding what the difference between the two of those types of readings are, literature, and then we're going to do some details that differentiate between fiction and nonfiction. After we're done doing that, I might have to clip off and go into a different slide for a reading and the comprehension questions and main ideas and details. So bear with me here, but we're going to go to the next slide and we'll talk about what our agenda is. So our agenda is to talk about what is fiction and nonfiction. Then we're going to discuss fiction versus nonfiction, the difference between the two. Then I'd like to be able to read aloud March to the Park and answer some comprehension questions, and then figure out what the main idea to that story is and the details and support. This may have to be kind of a two-part series, so I'm going to possibly post up the book separately and then have to kind of float back and forth between the two things. My suggestion is to make sure you don't go into the comprehension questions without actually seeing the clip with the book read first. Okay, if that makes any sense. So what is fiction and nonfiction? Fiction books or short stories are made up stories that are not true. And nonfiction books or articles have facts that are real and true about people, places, and events, actual things that happened. The difference between fiction versus nonfiction. Fiction is literature. It's not real, it's made up. Nonfiction is informational. It's real and has true facts. Fiction people read to enjoy. Nonfiction, you read to learn. Fiction, you read in order, the story. It has an order to it, so you want to read it in order. You don't read it backwards, you don't skip around. But nonfiction, you can read in any order. You're looking for facts inside of a story. You don't have to go from the front to the back. Fiction entertains readers. Nonfiction teaches readers. Fiction has lots of illustrations. Nonfiction has photographs of real things. Fiction has characters and settings. Nonfiction has text features. Text features can be photographs, charts, graphs, diagrams, table of contents, index, glossary, captions, and labels. Fiction has problems that need to have solutions to them, or maybe open-ended problems, depending on what the story's about. Fiction tells a story. A lot of times is animated, which means that animals can talk, and things that don't naturally have real living life about them all of a sudden come to life. Fiction also has beginning, middle, and an end. So this is where we're going to read March to the Park. I don't want you to go any further on this video if you haven't read this book yet. The book is going to be read on a different slide video until I can figure out how to get it to clip together. So if you haven't heard the book yet, stop here and listen to the book, which would be on another video, and then we'll go on to the questions. So boys and girls, if we've read the book already and you've seen that slide, this is where we're going to start talking about some of the comprehension questions. There are 14 questions on this page. I'm going to read them out to you, and I want you to think about them before we start adding the actual answers to them. What are the ants getting ready to do? Who was the leader of the ants? Which ant was not inspired by Dexter's speech? What was Dexter telling the ants? Where did the ants march to? Who left the group to work on his own? What did the ants find at the park? Why did Rudy leave his team? What does Dexter tell his team to carry back home? What did Rudy find? What is Rudy's problem? How does Rudy think he can fix his problem? Does Rudy's solution to his problem create a new problem? Who came to Rudy's rescue? And what did Rudy learn? This question. So we're going to answer some of these questions right now. What are the ants getting ready to do? The ants were getting ready to go to work. Who's the leader of the ants? Dexter. Which ant was not inspired by Dexter's speech? Rudy. What was he telling the ants? What was Dexter telling the ants? Teamwork, working together, and that they'll share all the food. Where did the ants march to? The park. Who left the group to work on his own? Rudy. What did the ants find at the park? People having picnics and sandwiches and cookies and chips. Why did Rudy leave his team? He wanted to be a star, show Dexter he is the strongest and the smartest ant. What does Dexter tell his team to carry back home? Feast of crumbs. Sandwich crumbs, cookie crumbs, or chip crumbs could all be an answer. What did Rudy find? Big fat slice of cake. The answer could have just been cake, but the description was big fat slice just to make it understandable that it was quite a bit larger than Rudy. What is Rudy's problem? And how does Rudy think he can fix his problem? Rudy's problem is the cake is too big for him to carry. He thinks he solves the problem by eating a bit of the cake. Does Rudy's solution to his problem create a new problem? Yes, he gets stuck under the cake, alone. Who came to Rudy's rescue? Dexter and the team of the ants. What did Rudy learn? It is better to work with the team. So that was a Q&A. And now these are some of the ideas. You can come up with your own. What would the main idea of the story be for March to the Park? As Rudy thinks the main idea is working together as a team is important and better than being alone. The details to support my main idea is Dexter led the team to find workable crumbs to carry back home together. The smaller crumbs they were able to pick up and get more food back home. My second point was Rudy could not move the large slice of cake alone, but when the 16 ants came to help him out, 16 ants could pick up the cake to help Rudy get out from underneath it. And my last point is it's safer to have a team than to be alone, because what would have happened to Rudy if the team didn't come to help him? These are just some examples of what you could come up with. There's lots of different details, but they're just 3 details that could help with the main idea. Boys and girls, this is my contact information. My email, klrudy@widener.edu. Please contact me with any questions or if you need any help with your work. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you during Zoom classes.